We are going to go through the LXC kickball rules. We're going to start off with the field diagram. Here's our basic softball kickball field we use with some adjustments. First, we have some safety bases. One at first base must be used unless you're going to be going or rounding to second. So if you go down to the normal first and there's a play, you're going to be out. You need to go to the safety base. So if you're going to be rounding, going to second, you can do that. Or if you're going to be going to second, you can do that. If you're fielding and the ball is a little off track, you cannot go in front of the first base safety base in order to make a play. You're just going to have to get down the line and stop that ball before it gets over there, or go around the base to get it when it's an overthrow. But if you go in front of that and impede that runner, they're going to get second base. We also have a safety plate at home that must be used anytime you're scoring. So when you're going home, you have to use this base. It's always going to be a force out at home. All the fielder has to do is touch the normal home plate before the runner gets to the safety base, and it's an out. The fielder cannot touch the safety base for an out. The only base they can touch is the normal home plate, or they can peg the runner. So it's always a force out at home plate, or you can peg them. Runner always has to go to the safety base. Fielder can only use the normal home plate for a force out. What makes it a force out is the commit line. When you're running and you cross this line, you have to go home. You are committed to home plate. If you come and stop right before it, you can go back to third. If you come and a foot touches that line, you're now committed. You got to go home. If you don't go home and you touch that line, or you cross it and you go back to third, all the fielders has to do is touch the home plate and you're going to be out. The only time you can go back to third is on a fly ball and you forgot to tag up and your whole team's yelling at you to get back to third. Now you can go back to third to tag up. That is the only other time. So we also have a bunt line, which acts as another foul line. So the ball has to touch or cross this line to be fair. It's the same as a first base foul line, same as a third base foul line. If that ball touches or crosses that line, it's fair. Just like if it touches or crosses the first base line, it's fair. Just like if it touches or crosses the third base line, it's fair. So a fielder can come and stop the ball before it gets to the line to make it a foul ball. Just like if the ball's rolling down third base, the fielder runs in, stops that ball before it crosses this line, it's a foul ball. They can do that with the bunt line too. That ball's going up, fielder comes down, touches it before it touches that line, it's going to be a foul ball. You're going to get another pitch, unless it's on your third strike. So that being said, we have a line that the fielders cannot cross until the ball's kicked. That's just to avoid them from standing on that bunt line and tracking down that ball and making everything foul. So fielders can't cross that line until it's kicked. You can stand anywhere on that line, but you cannot cross it. Once it touches a foot, you can run, try to stop that ball. You can go wherever you want. The outfielders have a similar line, which is drawn on the field, the outfield semicircle. Outfielders are not allowed to cross this line until the ball touches a foot, until it's kicked. Once it's kicked, outfielders can go wherever they want. We also have a box for the pitcher, and the front of the pitcher box lines up with the imaginary line between first and third, so it's a good reference point for the fielders. The umpire also uses that as a reference point. The pitcher cannot leave the box until the ball's kicked, so they got to stay in the box until the ball's kicked. Also, once the ball gets inside that box and controlled by any player, the play is dead and all runners have to stop. If runners are not halfway to the base they were going to yet, they have to go back to the base they were coming from. If the runner was halfway or more when the pitcher gets, or any fielder gets inside the box, they get the base they were going to and they have to stay there. You cannot make a play once you catch the ball in the pitcher's box. So if you're somebody going home and you want to try to get them out at home, you cannot catch the ball and throw it out of the pitcher's box. You have to get outside of the box to catch it and act as a cutoff man to make the play. So we also have imaginary base paths. So imaginary lines for base paths. 6 feet the runner gets. So basically connect for the bases and you get 3 feet on each side of that line. Runners have to stay within that base path. So if you're running to second, fielder comes chase you down and you take off into right field, left field, The fielder does not have to chase that person down. As soon as they leave the base path, they're going to be called out. Also, that gives you 6 feet to get out of a fielder's way if they are coming into the base path to make a play on the ball. Okay, now let's take you out to the field and see what it's going to look like on game day. So you see our 2 home plates here. We're going to go up and take a look at our bunt line, which connects the first base line and third base line here. The ball has to go past that line to be fair. See our pitcher's box. Pitcher's got to be on that center line when he pitches it. You can get it inside that box to stop play. The imaginary line's right at the front of that box. You see our first base, safety base, and the normal first base for the fielder. Safety base on the outside for the runner. Go over here, you can see our commit line that we talked about halfway down the third base line there. So you're coming home, you got to be wary of that commit line, and our 2 safety plates at home. And then here's our outfield semicircle. Outfielders can't cross that line until the ball is kicked. Now we'll go over our pitching rules. When pitching, 1 foot must be in the center of the pitching line when the ball is released. The ball must bounce at least 3 times before reaching home plate. The ball must be at least 1 foot from the plate on either side. The ball must be less than a foot above the plate when it crosses. No aggressive pitching, no curveballs, no big bounce pitches, no speed balls. Now let's see what we want a strike to look like and what balls are going to look like. Nice and easy pitch over the plate, that's going to be a strike every time. Nice and easy. So even when the pitch is a little bit outside here, probably going to be a ball a little more than a foot outside, but that's an easy pitch to kick. So that's what we like, easy pitches to kick. These speed balls here, really hard to kick, almost unkickable. That's going to be a ball every time. Curve balls, ball every time. Don't waste your time throwing the curve balls. Hard pitch to kick, it's going to be a ball. These high bounces where it bounces 3 times and rolls over home plate just at the last second, going to be a ball every time. And once again, you can't pitch from the outside like that. Now we're going to go over kicking rules. Just like normal baseball, you get 4 balls and 3 strikes. On your 3rd strike, a foul ball is going to be an out. That's the only difference. So you have 2 strikes and you kick a foul ball, it's going to be an out. Also, when you kick the ball, you need to be behind the plate, at the plate, or right next to the plate, or just a tad bit in front of the plate. If you're over the plate too much, way out here like that, it's going to be a foul ball. All the rules on a regular foul ball will apply. The bunt line, another foul ball line on the field. You can stop the ball before it gets that line to be foul. That's a foul ball right there. Here's a fair ball. You see he stopped it right even with the line, so it touches that line, it's going to be a fair. Here we go, it's a foul ball. Looks like he stopped it before he got to that line, and here's a fair ball. The ball crossed the line. First base, safety base. So first base, we have 2 bases, 1 for the runner, 1 for the fielder. The runner gets the one on the outside. This is going to avoid collisions at first. We have plenty of room there for that runner to run by. Bad throw takes you into the baseline. That runner's going to get second base. Any kind of collision where it takes you over there, we're going to give the runner second base. So don't do that. Stop it. Go around. Do what you can do to avoid that collision. Commit line going home. You have to stop before this line if you want to go back to third base. If you cross the line or step on the line, you're committed to going home. All the fielder has to do is throw the ball to home plate and touch it, and you're going to be out if you step or cross that line. Safety base at home. At home, we also have 2 bases, 1 on the outside for the runner, who you see here, and 1 on the inside for the fielder. All the fielder has to do is catch the ball on the plate before the runner gets to the base. It's going to be out. Fielder can also peg him if he wants. Runner, if you run to the regular home plate, you're going to be out. So always run to that safety base. After you score your run, make sure you put your run up on the scoreboard so we can keep track of the score. Stopping play from the pitcher's box. Any player that controls the ball inside the box stops the runners. So if the runners are not halfway, they have to go back to the base they were coming from. If they were more than halfway when the ball gets in there, they get to go to the base that they were heading to. So the umpire is going to make that decision after the ball gets in the box. Once the ball is in that box, you cannot make a play out of the box. So you cannot try to peg the runner going to second. If you're playing a base and somebody's running to your base, you're trying to catch it before they get there, you cannot be in the baseline. You have to give the runner a path. If you're in the baseline, we're going to call that runner safe. Give him a path coming from the shortstop, giving him a path coming from the second baseman, giving him a path coming from the pitcher. Taking up on a fly ball. Once a ball is kicked in the air, you cannot just take off. You have to wait till it touches that fielder. If you don't wait, they can just tug the base and get you out. As soon as it touches the fielder, you can take off. You do not have to wait for him to secure it. As soon as it touches them, you can take off to run to the next base. Pegging someone with the ball to get them out. You can peg them. The ball has to be thrown at or below their shoulders. If it's above the runner's shoulders and it hits them in the head or neck, they're going to get the base they were going to plus one other base. They will not be out. If you duck and you're running and you duck and you get hit in the head, sorry about your luck. Don't sit on the kickballs. If you sit on them, they're going to warp and we will not be able to use them to play anymore. Now you're ready to play some kickball. Have fun.